Welcome to Culture No Cap. I'm your host, Eric Spencer, along with co-host Reverend Eric Helton. What's up, man?
How to do,
Good, man. How you been?
man? It's almost the end of the week,
Boy, can't wait.
so I'm getting a little gooder as the days go by.
Man, same, bro. It's time. It's time for the weekend.
Man, it's time. I tell you what, because a lot of them niggas at work be.
There you go. Already. We ain't even we ain't even 30 seconds in, man. We already we already need to censor this thing.
Hey, she didn't say I couldn't say it.
Oh, so we're gonna do a little something different, man. We're gonna take questions from the listeners.
Cool.
That's different, right? Let's,
That's
let's
different.
I mean, I don't know why, they think we got the answers, but hey, we're
Hey,
gonna try, right?
we got answers.
They might not be the right ones, right?
They can be answers you can think about, and you might be like, man, I ain't that ain't it.
Yes.
Or it might be, that's a good answer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you can learn a lot from a dummy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna start with the first one. I'm gonna let you answer the first one, man. We'll go back and forth or whatever. It said, is it wrong for a parent to get wrapped up into their child's dream? Let's take it, step by step. Is it wrong for a parent to get wrapped up?
No, a parent should be their child's biggest cheerleader. Here's what you got to understand though: you can't live vicariously through your kids. So the question becomes: is it your kid's dream, or is it your dream for your kid? Because a lot of times a kid might be like, I like this, I like this, I like this, and then you get them and you push them and you push them and they stop liking it.
Yeah,
But you still say that's their dream. A kid's dream changes.
yeah, especially at a young age.
It,
I don't know how
it
old that's.
does, but you need to cheer for them and support them. One thing about our people that you would see a lot, like you go to football games and whatnot, and the parents wouldn't be at the games.
Mm,
And I was always like, man, I'm glad mom and daddy here. But so, man, your kids need your support. It makes your kid feel better if you're supporting them. Support and push though are two different things.
mhm.
So
Totally agree. I would say it's not wrong, but it can be wrong. Like you
yeah,
said, if you push too hard,
exactly.
if you want it more than they do, if you the one trying to make them practice and they don't really want to practice, you might be
Yeah,
doing too much.
it's your dream, not your kid's dream.
Hmm. And the second part of that, it says, I guess the parent becomes the ultimate supporter, even to the extent that times they might be hyper focused on the goal and the child and might put themselves to the side.
As a parent, you put yourself to the side.
That's sacrifice as a parent, right?
That's a sacrifice of a parent. So you're being a good parent. You just got to be careful to make sure, is this what you really want? I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna be your biggest cheerleader. I'm gonna rah rah for you. But is this what you want? And in doing that, though, you got to give your kid grace to make mistakes. You got to give your kid a chance to say, "Hey, I really don't like this anymore," and then you step back and don't be the parent. I know I'm talking to somebody. Don't be the parent cussing out the coach.
Oh, please don't be that parent.
Don't be that one.
I don't like those parents. Hurts.
Sometimes sports are life lessons to children.
Hmm.
Life isn't always fair. Sometimes you can be just as good or better than the other guy, and for some reason, you ain't out there.
You ain't out there. I'm a yeah, little story, man. I was coaching for a little while
Mm,
last year. I had to take a little break this year, man. I had last year. I had a parent come up to me and they were a little upset that their child didn't get to play, and it was at the end of the season, and they technically they didn't have to play because it was near the tournament time. That's kind of one of the rules. So you try to get them in if you're up, or you try to get them in the next game, right?
right.
So she said that it broke his spirit, and it bothered me, man, because I was like, wow,
You
I
don't
didn't
want to
want
be
to
the
break.
guy.
Yeah, I didn't want to be that coach, man. And I could have played him, but again, he wasn't as good as some of the kids that were in there, and you know, I didn't have to play him. So I
Did
made a coach's decision.
Was he a try hard guy?
He was.
You should have put him in the game.
I should have. Now see, that's
What-
what I'm saying. Looking back, I should have played him. I should have played him.
Yeah, or you might have could have seen, and you might put him in, call timeout,
Mhm.
get the other four guys. Look, little Jimmy's in. Don't throw him the ball.
See,
I had a
that's
coach tell us
worse.
that. I had a coach tell us that one time, and because I was maybe in the sixth grade, and they was like, "Look, I ain't gonna say the guy's name because he still lives around here." He said he got to play a quarter. Don't
Yeah.
throw him the ball. Do
Oh,
not let him touch the ball.
I don't know if that's. I mean, that's better than not playing at all. At least
Because
you
at
in
least
the
then he might get a rebound or a steal or something and touch the ball.
right. And the mom, of course, she didn't come up to me. She sent me a text, which made it worse because I had to look back at it.
That's
I,
it. You don't know her tone when she's doing it. But
yeah, yeah, I had to dissect it. And I kept looking back at it, and I couldn't sleep that night. I was like, man, because I've been there. I've been that kid and to sit out a few games, and it's not a good feeling. So I felt it. So I was like, man, I'm taking a break this year and
man,
reflect.
I mean, it is, and that's why it's good that a lot of times they have rules doing where okay, everybody got to play. They ain't all got to play the same, but everybody got to play. Uh,
Yeah,
I mean, but for you, that's a lesson learned.
yeah, it was. It
So
was. Like I didn't have to do that. I was like, man, I got caught up. Now, this granted, we went to the championship because of that game, but
little Jimmy might not have got to play.
he played in the championship game.
Yeah, he played the championship game because the mama shamed you into letting him play.
And by the way, we lost the championship game. I mean,
Because you put little Jimmy in. Shouldn't have put little Jimmy in. Did little Jimmy go to high school? Little Jimmy ain't guaranteed to play.
oh
But
boy, yeah, you're
but
right.
and I respect the mom. I respect her for texting it, even though I hate, that's because maybe face to face it would have came out a totally
Mhm.
different way.
True, true.
And she didn't post on social media, did she? She just sent you a
I,
text.
I didn't see it, but I'm probably not friends with her. She might have. She probably did. The way that text looked, it was pretty long, man. It was like
Oh yeah,
it was
don't do that, parents.
what? Don't text the
I
coach.
mean, don't put on social media if you're mad at a coach because don't do that.
Yeah, that would have broke my spirit. If I had seen it on Facebook too, and she
Yeah.
tagged me.
And while you could have been saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, so parents, we gotta be the adults. You comfort your kid, and if you feel that certain way, have a conversation with the coach. Don't don't come yelling at him.
No,
Uh,
please don't yell at me.
and so he came to every practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, she could have that conversation with you. Just a
I agree.
conversation. Yeah. As
I agree.
opposed to don't let him miss all the practices and then get mad he didn't play. See, that's different.
Yeah, she had a point. Now that's why I said she had a point, and like you said, it was a lesson learned from me. I learned from it.
There you go. You grow from it.
I grow from it, and that's what. Yeah, but
So
yeah,
yeah, be adults, parents. Cheer for your kid. Uh, they'll only be kids, but so long. So just
yeah,
cheer from them and support their dreams, but make sure they are their dreams.
not yours.
Then yeah, don't let it be your dream. You didn't get to play D1 football, so now you're trying to push your kid to do it.
Yeah, and that's easy to do. That's easy to get caught up in that because, especially
It
if you see they
is.
have talent that maybe you didn't have. You be like, man, shoot, if I had that talent, I
There
would
you
have
go. So I'm gonna push him. He
been.
might he might not even like football,
Might not like football, right?
but he's out there to make you happy.
Hmm.
So yeah, so you got to communicate with your kids. Know
Yeah,
what your kids want, and know that it can change for a kid on the at the drop of a hat.
yeah. And then where you gonna be? You're gonna be like, man, dang, I
So
invested all this time.
that's it. So I'll tell you, my son wanted to play college football till he wanted to be a rapper.
Well,
What the freak is that?
I mean, rapping can pay.
Do you know how frustrated I signed? Went to the first practice in college. I was like, I want to be a rapper.
Oh man, I bet that was a conversation. Fly on the wall.
Boy, I was furious.
Yeah.
But then I had to I was like, well, that's what he decided.
Mhm.
Uh, so I would encourage parents, especially if your kid has a dream, don't be so focused on the end destination that you don't enjoy the journey along the way.
Mm, that's good. Yeah. All right. I hope we answered that question. Hope they took from that and
Yeah, make sure it's their dream, not
yeah,
yours.
not yours. And this next person said, "Can a man have a true balance? His role is to be a provider and protector, and that causes us to have to work a lot, really be on the grind. Sometimes it takes away from our home activities. How do you balance? I think it's what they're really asking. How do you balance being
Because
a provider and being at home?"
you have to have a balance, because if you don't have a balance, what's going to happen is you're going to walk around angry at everybody because you don't have that time. What I learned to do is, even if it's 1 to 2 hours, have that being something I want to do. If that's just sit in the den and watch TV,
Yeah.
if that's playing Madden,
Right.
just that amount of time where I've got this time just to decompress. Because being a man, it ain't. Well, I'm not gonna say being a woman is easy, but I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have these responsibilities that a man wants to do. I want to be the provider. I want to be the protector. I want to be the one to pray for my family. These are things I want to do. I want to be there for my wife. I want to be there for my children, whatever they need. But I also can't lose me in all of that.
You need
So
your time, your space,
you
your time.
need your time, and if you have that conversation, and now it's hard with little kids. Little kids don't understand you needing time,
Right.
but once they get to about the double digits, you're able to tell them, "Look, Daddy needs. I'll be out. I'll be out here in an hour. I just gotta. I just gotta decompress.
Right.
I can be more effective for you, and we can have better conversations and we can have more fun if I'm able to take this time and relax so that I don't come in the house mad and you already daddy, 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 daddy.
Mhm.
And now I'm frustrated. And then my wife is, well, honey, will you do this? And like, just give me a chance to breathe. You got
But
to.
yeah. And let's talk a little bit about that. You said, of course, we don't know what it's like to be a woman, but we know as men, there are certain expectations as a man, like unsaid expectations. They're not really vocalized all the time, but there are expectations for men.
There are.
And that brings pressure sometimes. And I don't think people recognize that enough in society. It's just like, you're a man, suck it up.
Yeah, well, and then we have reached a point in society where they devalue men. So real men who are trying to do what a man is supposed to do, they get taken for granted. So that makes you feel like I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, just so I'm appreciated. Even if I don't feel well, I need to do this. I need to do this. There are times when I can be sick and my wife can be doing stuff around the house, and I can be like, I'm sorry, I I just can't. And she's like, I understand. You don't feel good. But a lot of people, a lot of men will find themselves still having to push their way through it
Mhm.
just because this is what a man is supposed to do.
Expectations.
But you're gonna wear yourself out. As a man, there are things as a man, there are things you gotta do. But you can take a minute. I've always been one, I can do it at my own pace. It'll get done. But I'm gonna breathe. I'm not gonna walk around here mad at y'all just because I'm doing something that I'm supposed to do, and because even unsaid you expect me to do it. But I'm not gonna walk around mad at you. But I
Yeah,
gotta.
because that's what it can turn into. Like you said, it can turn to resentment.
There you go.
And the family, the kid, the wife, they might not even know.
They have no clue.
Yeah.
And they like, well, he's just always in a bad mood. It can take you to the point where when you pull in the driveway, you're like, man, they're home. It ain't done nothing to you. They happy to see you, and you just
Yeah. And then it can turn into, dang, he's home.
there you go. And
You know,
everybody's mad.
everybody
But
mad.
and it's all because you just need to take some time. You've got to have a home, work, life, you balance. You've got to.
Yeah.
And you might think, well, it's easy for you to say because y'all got an empty nest now.
Mhm.
But I had to get that in my mind when kids was here. And I don't
Mhm.
mean they always listen to it, but they could tell when they didn't listen to it,
Right.
things were much more tense. Because my son, he's good for giving you your space, being quiet. Now my daughter, she likes to talk.
Difference. Big difference.
So I can go in the room and just be sitting there, and she knows, but she still won't come in and talk. I'm like, this is just my time. Well, gosh, I didn't know you want to talk. They won't talk to me, but she had to understand. Look, this is what he's got to do. He'll be back. He'll talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah. We all need that. We all need that space, that time to decompress. And it sounds like this person, they need that. It sounds
They,
like they're not doing that. They're trying to do too much.
they're wearing themselves out, trying to be everything to everybody.
Mhm.
And it's easier for you to be things for people if you be you for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just take if it just an hour, just something where look, this is I just gotta have this time. And no, and I'm not telling you I need this time because I'm mad at you. I'm telling you, because I got a lot going on in life. And in order for me to
yeah,
be the best me I can be for my family, I got to be me, and I got to spend some time with myself.
yeah, and it can be as simple as, like you said, playing Madden or
Let me play one
okay,
game of Madden. There
yeah.
you go.
But I got to a point, even with my job, I had my emails coming to my phone, and I took it off because it was too much for
Well,
me.
I got
And
mine coming, and I don't even look at them anymore.
yeah,
You
you
know,
gotta stop that.
you know what really got me with that is before Jaden got sick, she used to say, "Daddy, even when you here, you answering them work emails, it's like you're still at work." And I was like, "Well, honey, I got to answer this. I got to answer this." And then when she got sick, man, that changed all my priorities.
Mm, I
I
bet.
just sat it down, and I look at it. I might. I don't even look at it in the morning when I get up. I'll
I might
wait till I
just
get to
do it.
work and look at them.
That's what I do now. I just can't do it. I mean, yeah, unless I'm off for a long period of time, I might check them. But but every day, I was on it every day. Oh, let me see. Oh, it's just too much. Like, dude, you gotta
Yeah,
have a life.
you've got to have a life. And I had a situation at work today where the guy was wrong, but he called me, and he called me. It was like 2:45, and I looked at the phone, and I said, "I can pick up this phone and be mad on my way home, or I can let him leave me a voicemail and call him back tomorrow." And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not bringing work home anymore.
Nah, I'm with you. That's over. It's done.
Yeah, that's mm-mm.
Done, man. Because they want you to do that. Let's be honest. They
Yeah,
not losing out, especially if you on salary.
yeah.
They
They
gonna
absolutely do not. They don't care if you do. They don't care if you have a work life balance.
nah, just get it done.
So I'm gonna make sure I have one,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna
you
make
gotta be
sure I have
proactive.
some me time.
Yeah, and that's not selfish. That's not being selfish. That's being smart and protecting
Yeah, that's
yourself,
not being selfish. That's loving yourself.
loving you.
Because I can't be who I need to be for everybody if I walk around mad or if I'm worn out. I just can't.
Yeah, yeah. So there you
So
go, buddy.
yeah,
Balance.
a man needs a balance. Not only can he have one, he needs a balance.
Mhm. Yeah, and a woman.
And the
Think
woman,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it goes both ways.
yeah.
Because
Especially.
we put a lot of expectations on them.
Mhm.
And,
Yep.
because there are certain things that we expect them to do.
Yeah, especially if single moms at that. If you're a single mom, man,
You've
that's gotta
got
be
to
tough.
take a minute. And I know that's difficult, but you got to take a minute and just, all right, let me just let me get myself together. Because a lot of occasions, the single mom, now that's one who will sacrifice everything for their kids' dream, and they'll put everything into them.
Mhm.
But then they grow up, and who are you?
Get lost. You don't know who you are anymore.
There you go. So you got to, man, you got to.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree. But yeah, so this one right here, next question, man. I'm gonna let you. This is your lane for sure. It says, why is it so hard to overcome church hurt? Explain to the audience what church hurt is for people who
Church
don't.
hurt is pretty much what it sounds like. It's when you get hurt by somebody in the church, or the church puts you in a position that embarrasses you. And man, it can rock you to. There's no hurt in the world like church hurt. It's difficult to get over because you have this expectation of the church, and you think that the church, man, everybody in the church is supposed to love each other. Everybody in the church professes to follow Christ, and they act, they're supposed to love you. So when you get mistreated by the church, or the church does something to you that hurts your feeling, it's difficult to get over. But it's difficult to get over because we keep associating the individual with the church.
Mm.
And no matter, and the thing about church hurt is no matter where you go, there it is. You feel it.
I mean, why is that? What do you think it is? You think people just get too caught up in church?
You have that expectation of the church. You have that expectation of church, of church folk to be a certain way. And when they break you down, everywhere you go, you're always going to be reminded of what happened to you. Every time you walk into church, whether it be one here or one down the street, you're reminded of how them church people turned on me. But the way we got to get over it is we got to give it to God. We got to understand that people are people, whether they call themselves Christian or atheist or whatever they call themselves. People are people. When I go to church, I can't worry about people, because people don't have anywhere to put me. I'm coming to church to worship God. I'm coming to give him all the praise. I'm coming to hear a word that may be inspiring, or a word that may be what I need to get my stuff in order. I'm coming for that. I'm not coming for these people, because the reality is God gonna take care of that. But you've got to, and it takes prayer.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of prayer to overcome church hurt. But I promise you, if you pray to God and you consistent with your prayer, God will lead you somewhere where you be like, man, I never knew church could be like this. I never knew people could be so loving.
Now, could the answer be to leave that church?
Oh, absolutely.
If
Problem with, because there are snakes in the church. Every church you go to gonna have a snake. But some snakes. So I like to say that a lot of church snakes are like copperheads. A copperhead, they're territorial. This is their area. They ain't gonna bother you till you get in their area. Then they gonna bite you.
Yeah.
So a lot of us we'll get bitten by somebody in church. And instead of saying, okay, this is not the church for me, we'll get that copperhead mentality too. And we'll say, but this is my church. And I ain't leaving.
Territorial.
But look, if I'm not getting the word like I need to get the word, if I got to come to church and fight my way in and fight my way out, man, there's a whole lot of other churches.
Right.
What you can't do, or what you should not do, is get mad at that one church and just stop church completely.
Now, how you feel about somebody leaving the church and going to the other church and talking about their experience, bad mouthing, let's say, another church?
See, I blame those in the leadership of that church. So wait.
The new one?
When you say bad mouthing them, do you mean in public?
Yeah, publicly.
You mean them in the church bad mouthing them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I blame the leadership of that church because they need to sit her down.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Mm.
We don't do messiness here. Now I can't control what she say at her house to somebody else. But no, you don't do that. Because what people don't realize when they do that, they ain't making that church look bad. They're making themselves look bad.
Yeah.
Because they do this. Well, why did you stay there all that long? You was okay with it until it happened to you?
Mm.
All you need to say is I wasn't being fed there, and God sent me in another direction. Leave it at that.
No need to badmouth. And
Yeah, don't do that. No. But there are people who will do it.
yeah, immediately.
And it ain't always the pastor's fault that you left. That's what, especially black people, that's what we think. It ain't always the pastor's fault that somebody left.
And sometimes can't you just wear out your welcome? Even it isn't it time to go sometimes? Like, hey, we had a good run.
Well, if you stop growing, it's time to go.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you just like, man, I just don't like going here anymore, man. I just can't take it.
Yeah, that's because if you come in with a mentality that God, here I go, you ain't gonna get anything out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's now I'm not telling folk to be a church hopper and every 2 months go somewhere else.
But what if you trying to find the right church?
If you
Church, not
okay.
shopping, but
It's
I don't
one
know.
thing, it's one thing for you to be visiting churches.
Yeah, there you go.
But once you join a church, you need to be a part of that church.
That church and that church only.
I'm not gonna say, but yeah, for the most part. But when people say that, there are people who take that literal. That are like, you can't go nowhere else.
That's my church. I only go to my church.
Yeah, I think I don't necessarily agree with that.
Why?
But
I mean, explain that a little bit. Like you saying that you should be able to visit other churches and
you
still
should be able to
a
visit other churches,
Okay.
but don't forget your responsibility to see your home church. Now, you shouldn't be visiting other churches 3 times out of the month.
Mm.
But I mean, say we don't have service. There are some churches where if we're not having service, you still can't go nowhere else. That's borderline cult-like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't agree with that. Look, we all need the Lord, and if we ain't doing something Sunday, please go get you some word somewhere.
But come
That's
back
what
home.
I'm gonna do.
But come back home.
Yeah,
Right?
come back home. Know where home is,
Yeah.
and then don't be the type to, we trying to think of the right way to say it without. We'll come to our church, and they'll pass the plate, and you'll put $1 in there.
Mm-hmm.
Now that dollar was a lot of money in 1915.
Right.
$1 ain't. But
It ain't what it
then
used to be.
it ain't what it used to be. But then you'll go home and TD Jakes will say, send this amount of money and I give you this book. And you send it to him.
Terrible example. Right now.
Yeah,
But,
Stephen Furtick will say
okay. There you go.
it. and we'll starve our home church trying to take care of somebody who
With a
When
mega
you
church.
get sick, yeah, when you get sick, they ain't coming to see you.
Why do
They
you think
calling
that
you.
is though? What do you think they think the mega church preacher has some kind of other power that they can what is it?
I never understood it. And you know, a lot of them churches are so big, they don't know all their members.
It's impossible.
When their members get sick, they send in somebody. But you're gonna starve your home church and say, shoot, I ain't paying that preacher just trying to get rich. But you'll send it to the preacher on TV that got a jet and a Rolls Royce.
Oh boy, you're right.
I don't understand it.
Prosperity. What's it called? Prosperity ministry.
Yeah. Yeah.
How you feel about that?
I think anytime they teach you give to get, something wrong. Something wrong with that. God told me to give. Now, I don't give just so saying, well, I'm gonna get back. Mm-mm. Now, God can and will bless me in return. But I'm not giving, when you're giving it just to get, that's a selfish mentality. A Christian is not supposed to be selfish. Yeah, I got issues with it.
Yeah, it's a whole thing, man. That's a movement.
It's the whole thing. But with that said, I don't think that God means for you to be broke all your life either. But that don't mean you're gonna be a millionaire.
Right.
Yeah, so
prosperity ministry.
Yeah, I mean it worked for the preachers.
But hadn't that always been a thing? It's nothing new. You gotta remember back in the day, Daddy, what's his name? Daddy Rich. What's his name?
Daddy Rich was on Car Wash.
Oh. Oh, that wasn't a real thing.
That was Richard Pryor on Car Wash.
Oh.
But man, what Daddy Grace?
Ike. Daddy
Grace. Ike, yeah.
Daddy Grace. Not Daddy.
Daddy Rich.
Daddy Grace.
Yeah. Daddy Rich had that white
Reverend Ike.
Yeah. I mean, it's always been a thing.
It's nothing new.
Yeah, but
we just got, I don't say we got smarter. I don't know, because like I said, a lot of people still give to these mega
I don't understand. And you don't know them. I think we know now that we don't know them.
Yeah, we found out real quick.
For the most part, you know your pastor. Mm-hmm. And when you give to the church, in most cases, the pastor got a salary. Yeah. That's what he's gonna make. Whether you give or don't, you giving more ain't gonna make them say, hey, we gonna give him more. You give because God told you to give. Right. Because it's all his anyway.
But isn't it easy for anybody, a pastor or anybody, just to get caught up? And maybe that's not the right word, caught up, but just see things growing around you and people saying, you know, here's this car. Yep, you've been serving us well. You've been doing a great job. And it's a car. Then it's another car. Then it's a jet, because things are growing. Wouldn't it be hard to walk away and be like, nah, I can't take that? Wouldn't that be tough?
Well, wouldn't it be hard for who?
For you.
Oh, yeah, it'd be difficult.
Yeah, a jet? Somebody like, man, y'all, hey,
man, give me a car. Shoot.
A car. You can't take it. You could, but it would be hard. It would look away.
It would look a way.
Yeah.
And you gotta weigh that, because at what point does it seem like they're worshiping God or they're worshiping me? Or it could be that, you know, a lot of folks understand that being a pastor is not easy, and it is a lot of sacrifice, and they may just want to reward you. but they understand that it's all about God.
Yeah, and that's why I can't completely knock these preachers, these mega churches, because they are working hard.
They are working. They are
working. They're working nonstop, and it is work, and they deliver the word.
It's yeah, that's where, but you got to make sure that they're delivering the word.
Yeah, we don't right. You don't know.
Yeah, you gotta make sure that they're doing it for God's glory.
For God's glory.
And that
Exactly.
they're respecting God's house.
But with that, if prosperity comes, it awaits. What are you supposed to do? Don't take.
You accept your blessing.
Accept your blessing.
You accept your blessing as long as you know that I'm still putting God first. And this is how God is blessing me. Now, the problem comes when you start to just do it for that reason. When you start to just do it for the money and for the stuff, that's the problem.
And then it's a career.
There you go.
It's a job.
And instead of, it's what was your calling is now your career.
Wow.
It's not supposed to be like that. You can have it where you have this church and you're a full-time pastor and you're doing all these things to where it is your only job, but it's still your calling.
Still your calling, yeah.
But when you just turn into a career and you forget the calling, that's the problem.
So you're depending on the church more than the church can depend on you, possibly. There's a possibility.
It's possible. It's just you lose focus. Once you lose focus, anything might happen. Because and I know God can bless you immensely. Because I mean, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. It's all His. So He can give you what He want to give you.
But do you have to be selective about what you accept?
If it's from God.
If it's a Bugatti. Well, your blessing comes in a Bugatti.
What am I doing? I can't park no Bugatti at my house.
You can.
I mean, they could be like, why is that car at that house?
I've seen it.
Oh yeah, I mean, you see it at an apartment,
right?
Here's where we got to be careful though. You got to know who's blessing you. The scripture tells us that Jesus had gone up to pray and he was tempted by the devil. And one of his temptations, he told Jesus, he said, look at all of this. I'll give you all of this if you bow down and worship me. What that tells us is Satan can give you stuff. You got to be careful figuring out if what you're getting is a blessing from God or a curse from Satan. So if you're not careful, what you think God is giving you to bless you, the devil's giving you to take you off track. So
yeah,
I mean, I don't think he's gonna bless me with no Bugatti because I'm gonna have to pay the insurance. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with it and all.
You figure that out later.
Now, if he blessed me with a mansion, then he might bless me with a Bugatti.
Right. Yeah.
And God's not going to bless you with something that's going to give you more stress than you had before either.
Makes sense.
So, yeah, man.
All right. And the second part, he said, it's like you are allowing yourself to become dead to your feelings, and you're just able to walk into some of these churches when you know that it's not right. He said, it's like you are allowing yourself to become dead to your feelings just to be able to walk into some of these churches. They hurt
You don't need to walk into those churches
at all.
Yeah, not those. Now, if you've had the negative experience, how long ago was it? Are the people still there that did it? Was it something that the church did? But there are other churches, and it's just like being in a relationship. You can't punish the new person for what the old person did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it takes prayer. But anytime you go to church and you're numb when you walk in the door, that's a problem. And I have no doubt that, man, back in the day, and the church would, if a girl got pregnant, they'd bring her up in front of the church and shame her. That's
just wrong.
Things like that can cause church hurt.
Yeah.
And even, and this hadn't been that long ago, it was a preacher that they were quizzing to ordain. That's something that is done in private. Well, there was this one instance where they brought the guy out in front of the floor, in front of everybody, and started asking him about his wife and stuff like that.
What?
That is ignorant. Yeah. And how do you think that guy felt? Do you think in his mind, first off, yeah, I'm a preacher. Yeah, y'all preachers. Yeah, we sitting in church, but you might get cussed out.
Yeah, you might.
And what you're doing to me will make me never, ever want to deal with y'all again. That's how church can hurt you. Mm. But you know what? That guy, he answered the questions. They ended up saying, okay. He stuck with him for about a year and a half and went and found him somewhere else to go.
Understandable. I mean,
if get away from them. Don't give up on everybody, but move on. Now, I do want you to ask yourself, though, is it something you did? And that's not to put blame on anybody, because there's not a person walking this earth that ain't done some dumb stuff, that hasn't made mistakes and still makes mistakes. But just reflect. Is it something I did? And if it wasn't, honey, you dust your shoes off, hold your head up, and go on to the next one. But if it was, just get it right. And people gonna people if you let people. All you can do is say, I'm sorry. It's on them then.
You move on.
You move on.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. All right. Next one is, I'm young, I'm single, and I found that people say church is the best place to meet young and single people. Is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? Something I should avoid?
First of all, I wonder, is it a man or a woman? I didn't hear that part.
They didn't say.
Not that it really matters. Look, you don't go to church looking to find somebody. You don't. Because reality, probably some of the biggest creeps you'll find.
In the church?
Oh, man, yeah. Oh. Church people are still people. No, but you don't. You go because is that the only reason you're going to church?
Well, they didn't say. I mean, I would assume that's where they go anyway. But they maybe they hadn't found what they were looking for.
Well,
they're still single in church.
It's not your time. The worst thing that you can do is try to rush into something.
Yeah.
All my friends got somebody, but I ain't. It ain't. Your Prince Charming hasn't come yet, or your queen hasn't come yet.
I'm assuming this is a woman for some reason. I don't know.
It seemed,
Sounded
and
like
I hope we don't say it. It seemed like a woman question,
yeah. It does. It does.
but no, you don't. You be who you are. When the right one comes along, the right one will come along. Don't go to church thinking, hey, I'm going to meet somebody, because you might meet a great guy at church, but don't go looking. Let that stuff grow organically.
Yeah. But is it wrong for you wanting to find someone that shares your same beliefs and
Absolutely not.
values?
That is not wrong. It's
Yeah.
not wrong for you to want to find a good church guy, but just don't go looking.
Right.
You know how I met my wife?
Yeah.
At the hospital.
You were at the hospital?
We were sitting at the hospital. Well, her grandparents died 2 days apart.
Mm.
I was their pastor, and that's how we met.
Wow.
Just so happened that she was a church girl, but I ain't know her.
Right.
And I
Organic.
sure didn't go to the hospital expecting to meet somebody.
Right.
I went to be there for the family.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it doesn't, you can meet a good church guy or a good church girl outside of church. When you come to church, come to praise God, come to get a word from God. And God, I promise you, he knows your future. He already knows who he's made for you. Just let it play out.
So, but don't church hop.
Trying to
To
find the
find
man. Yeah,
I mean,
that's not you.
better than bar hopping, right?
It's much better than bar hopping. but yeah, there are, and I don't want to make it seem like, boy, everybody in the church jacked up. There are good men in the church, but you just don't go looking.
No, probably not.
Yeah, that's.
But if you happen to find,
If you happen to find them, then this could be what God meant for you. But don't go thinking, well, I gotta find me a man. I need to go to church. And that, the more I think about it, that's the kind of mentality that a dude would have too.
you think?
I'm gonna go get me a good clean girl at the church.
Good luck.
Well, back in the day, we'd be like, shoot, some of the biggest freaks you'll ever meet is in the church. I mean, that seemed like a mindset of. So I don't know if it was a guy or a girl.
It might have been a dude. It might have been a dude. You're right, because you never know.
But you don't let God take care of it.
It's true.
When it's your time, he'll make it known.
Yeah, and even if a lot of that are people. I don't know how old this person is, but that some people think if you're not married by a certain age, especially women, it's over. If you're not married by 30, what's wrong with you?
You don't hurry up and get married. You're gonna be somebody's second wife. Okay.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, what's the problem? What the problem is?
Probably gonna be
Yeah.
better for you.
Because really, the older you are, the more you know what you want.
Experience too.
The more you know what you'll put up with, and the more you know yourself.
True.
Man,
Experience, man.
I'm telling you. But yeah, it's like we try to push them. You work on God's time,
Mm.
and God will take care of it.
Yep. All right, here's the next one. Well, we doing good, man. You right. The church. I'm actually. Hey, it's perfect.
Okay, it's perfect.
I told him, I'm like, man, my answer might be, yeah, go to the next church. This church out.
How you operate, man?
Go to different cities. Go down to Charlotte.
Maybe the problem is, that ain't.
Go to the mega church.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah, don't answer them questions.
See, you know what I'm saying? It's working out. All right, next one. All right, I'm 32 years old. I live in a small town. I'm trying to get back in school, but it seems like every time I try to move forward, something always pulls me back. I have a 4-year-old. A lot of men don't want men with or women with children. What advice would you give?
The right man is out there.
But don't you meet those people sometimes they just can't catch a break? That's what this sounds like. They just can't seem to catch a break.
It does, but you've got to take sometimes it takes a determination. And it seems like she wants to do. First off, young lady, don't tie your happiness to what some man wants.
Yeah.
At 32, you ain't gonna find too many reality. If you got a bunch of 30-year-old men that ain't got no kids,
It's gonna be tough.
it's gonna be tough. So how can I tell you? How can I say I don't want a woman with kids and I got kids?
Hey, that's a thing. Some people they have kids, but they don't want somebody else's.
Man, that is EGNANT.
Yeah,
Ignorant.
it is, but it's real. You know,
Yeah,
it's
well,
real. It's a real
you
thing.
know what? Well, that's not the person. That's not the person for you.
Yeah.
Hey, don't tie yourself into that. I'm not sure when you say you want to go back to school. I'm not sure, what it is, but there are a single mother. There ought to be grants and loans that are out there for you. And as a single mother, yeah, you probably have to do it online. But guess what? There are plenty of places you can do it online, and you can do it at your pace, and you can get it done. And the reality is, you're 32.
It's young.
You're not old.
At all. 32.
I know at 32 you feel like, man, life is past. You're 32.
Just getting started, really.
There's a whole lot of life out there. You just take one step at a time. Don't worry about what man ain't there. I'm telling you, the same thing we said to the earlier question. God has somebody for you. You just got to be patient. And I had to tell people sometimes, and I'm glad I don't know who's asking these questions. What is it that you're looking for in a man? Or what is it that you're looking for in a woman? There is such a thing as being out of your league.
Whoa, slow down. What you mean? What you mean out of your league? As far as what? What would be out of her league?
I used to have a friend who was in college, and he was that guy, dude. I mean, he would just do it. He got arrested one weekend because he was pulling down a stop sign. They arrested, put him in jail. He peed on the magistrate, had to stay in jail 30. He was one of them guys.
Right.
And he used to say, but there wasn't a woman that would walk around that he didn't have his fingerprints on. And one day he said, I'm tired of barking up the wrong tree. I'm going to go find me a stump to piss on. So what he did was, I'm not going to say, he did. He lowered his standards. But there are some people, and I don't want to make it sound like, well, they're out of your league. Some people just ain't meant for you. Y'all ain't nothing alike. Y'all don't like the same things. He just cute. That ain't cute. Ain't gonna last.
Yeah, the physical attraction, which that's what we see first.
That's what we see first, but that goes away.
Right.
Woman, don't you be walking in this house?
There you go. You about to get jacked up right here on the pod. We're gonna see a live beat down.
I'd hate for you to have to do some extra editing.
Yeah, exactly.
Good to see you.
Thanks. Goodbye.
You going to bed?
I'm gonna eat before I get called in again.
All right. She just got off from work.
I'm about to get jacked up already.
Baby, I ain't scared. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's not. You
that lower your you gonna now. It sounds misleading.
It does sound misleading. Be realistic, because every man would have wanted Halle Berry. Every man ain't getting her.
It's true.
And you know, Halle done been through some dudes. So evidently there's something about her that folk don't want anyway.
No, or she's attracting the wrong man.
Bing, 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 bing. What is it about you?
Yeah.
That is attracting these people?
Something.
There you go. So yeah, I don't mean lower your standards. I mean, evidently what you're liking ain't working. So change your perspective. How about that? Don't find a stump to piss on.
It might be the name of this pod. You know I will.
But that's it. Maybe you're just attracted to what you're attracted to is not for you.
Yeah. Totally makes sense.
So,
but yeah, don't lower it. Be realistic.
Yeah. Saying lower your standards probably isn't the right way.
But yeah.
To do it, because there are certain standards that you should have. There are certain expectations that you should have. There are certain things that you should say, I'm not going to accept. So say, if when I say lower your standards, it almost sounds like, man, just put up with anything. No, I don't mean that.
There you go. Definitely don't put up named just anybody just because. I'm 32. I have a child. I can't do better than this.
You can. Don't have that mentality that a piece of man is better than any man. No, they're better than no man. No, it ain't.
Don't settle.
Yeah, don't settle.
Don't settle.
You can change your perspective. Don't settle.
Yep. All right. We're getting there. So this is from my mom, apparently. My son is 16 years old. He wants to play college football. I think he's really good, but his grades are not so good. How do I get him focused on his academics and maybe look into doing something other than playing sports?
Well, Mom, he's 16. He's in your house. Take football away from him.
You can't take away that boy's dream. That's his dream.
His dream ought to be able to spell.
She didn't say there you go.
I know she didn't say spell. But I'm
Hey,
saying,
read.
hey, and you can tell him flat out, if your grades ain't right, you ain't getting into college.
Yeah, for the most part. Unless he's
So,
really good. He's really good though.
nah,
Nah, that's wrong.
you
That's wrong.
need to edit that part out there.
You're right.
Just like you gonna edit my beat down out.
We got to be real. Yeah, okay. You're right. Your
But
grades gotta be good.
not as much anymore. Now, back in the day, they could get through high school and not be able to read.
Which sounds crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy, but they could.
They could.
I don't think it's like that as much anymore.
They want kids to read now.
They won't be able to read, and then they got this standardized tests. There are certain before there were certain grades that they had to have. Yeah, I would look, son. I love you. You 16.
He's young.
You're my responsibility. Honey, I wonder, does he play for the school?
I think so. She said he was playing football. He has dream. Yeah, I would say if I'm not getting the NFL.
I got a problem with the school then.
What, as far as
maybe his grades aren't what she wants them to be.
They're just enough, maybe, to get by.
Yeah, maybe he's not doing what she knows he can do.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be hard for you to give a 16-year-old for you to get him to do what you want him to do with that. But if his grades are bad, pull him out.
Pull him out the sport.
Yeah, he's 16, so that means he probably sophomore.
Yeah. I'll take away the keys. If he's driving, take away some privileges at first. Take something away. Not his sport, though.
I'm gonna take his sport away.
I'll take his sport, man.
I'm gonna take his sport away, and I'm gonna go talk to the coach and say, Coach, little Jimmy, I like little Jimmy. Little Jimmy's not gonna play. I'm telling little Jimmy he's not gonna play this year. Here's even better. Little Jimmy's on the football team. Coach, I want you to let little Jimmy practice every day as hard as he can. Don't put him in the game.
They can't do that. That's illegal.
What's illegal?
They're not letting him play. The best player? Let's say he's the best player. You think the coach gonna do that?
How's that illegal?
That's illegal, man.
No, it ain't.
That's slavery.
Because we want to teach little Jimmy a lesson. Little Jimmy loves football. Let him practice. Don't let him play. Watch little Jimmy's grades improve.
You're probably right. You're probably onto something, but I don't see the coach doing that though. The coach gonna be like me. I want to win.
If the coach cares about the kid, he will.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: if little Jimmy keep getting mad that he don't get to play and he quits, was college football really your dream, son?
Yeah.
Because you couldn't work through a little adversity.
What if you start messing up as a junior, late going into the senior year, though? You gonna take it away? You gonna take it away then? Yeah. He's that good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a crucial time if he's trying to go to college.
Hey, it's a bunch of colleges out there. If he's that good, he got some tape.
Yeah, he probably got some tape.
I mean, that's the only way.
Go.
Because he needs to understand that if you go to college and play football, you're gonna have to have the grades. they will kick you out of school. You don't have the grades.
True.
So you need to get some habits now before you get there.
Mhm. Yeah. Just take it away. You ain't playing no football. Go study.
Or like I said, let him go to practice. Take him to practice.
That's wrong. Just take him out. Don't even make that kid practice if he ain't gonna play.
Hey, but here's the thing though. If he's practicing and coach ain't putting him in the game, and then you start to see improvement in his grades, coach, we okay now. You can
It's a
play him.
win-win. It's a win-win for everybody then.
You can play him.
That's cool.
I mean, because you can't sit down and have that conversation with a 16-year-old and him get it. He ain't gonna get it.
I'm thinking 16 sophomore. You might be right. That is
Ain't gonna
young. Yeah, 16 pretty.
Yeah, he ain't gonna get it, and he's gonna feel like you picking at him, because I promise you, he gonna say, "I'm doing the best I can."
What if I'm just a C student?
Theo.
Yeah. I'll make it on bologna and cereal.
So clearly, Mama knows something about him we don't. Mama knows that he can do better
Mama knows.
because Mama has seen him at home not putting forth the effort.
Mm-hmm.
Mama tell that coach let him practice and don't play him.
It's gonna make that kid just go out there doing all them drills and rolling up a little rollover. I used to hate those.
Especially let him go doing conditioning. Let him.
He's in great shape to be standing on the sideline.
But that's if you see improvement, he's already out there practicing with him. He'll get to play.
Yeah.
But no improvement, no play.
Gotta sit down.
And I know that's hard on a parent too. Because we all want to go see our kid play.
Facts.
Yep. But if I go in there already knowing little Jimmy ain't
gonna go. He's probably not even gonna go to the game.
I'm gonna go.
Just to look at him, just see what you did. I did that. That's why he's sitting there. Andy.
I'm gonna go so little Jimmy know I support him even if he don't get to play.
Yeah. But, nothing wrong with that.
Well, little Jimmy ain't gonna get to play because don't do it, coach. Yeah, right, if you love my kid, your job is to help make him this. Look, you ain't in college, or you ain't in the NFL. Your job is to help make him a more responsible young adult.
That's the goal. Should be the goal.
So this is what I want you to do. Work him, don't play him. Mama had a conversation with the coach.
I believe it. Yeah, she should. You think coach is really gonna do that though? That's my thing. I think the coach wants to win. I really do.
Coach does want to win. But sometimes you win by losing.
Who wins? The kid wins.
The kid's gonna win in the long run.
In the long run, for sure.
Yeah.
What about the coach?
And I'm not saying sit him out all year. I'm saying once you see improvement, play him.
Play him. All right.
But you got to see improvement.
All right.
Well, yeah. You think I've been trying to get fired?
Yeah, trying to get.
You got all them best players sitting over there.
That's our best running back standing on the sideline because his dad want to prove a point.
And they back in the crowd yelling.
Matter of fact, you probably shouldn't even show up to the game. Stay home.
And I'm like, well, your kid was sitting in ISS with him.
Right.
You don't need to be out there playing too. Yeah, I'm in the stands fighting.
Yeah, stay home.
And
oh boy.
Teach him a lesson.
This is a fun one right here. Woo. Ooh, this is a good one. This isn't even personal. This is talking about your boy, Jonathan Majors. It said Jonathan. I know. So y'all talked about Jonathan Majors, and recently I read that if he had brought another white girl to the courtroom instead of Megan Good, he could have possibly got out without indictment. It's something to think about. You don't think so?
I don't think so.
You think
Because
helped
what would happen? Now Megan probably didn't help him, but they probably thinking he gonna do that to her too. Man, I don't think there was any way for that brother to get out of that.
I think he should have showed up alone.
He shouldn't have had no woman with him at all.
I wouldn't have took a woman after what I'm going through. Why am I going to even be thinking about a woman?
And they didn't know who Megan Good was really anyway.
Nah, probably not that crowd.
Yeah,
She's not the most popular actress.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, he'd have been better off just, honey, you support me from home.
But don't you think he kind of used her a little bit? You think it's really a relationship?
Look, it was probably a relationship.
You think with Megan Good?
Have you seen Megan Good?
Oh, he should want one.
Have you seen
Jonathan?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I mean. You see my point.
I'm talking about on his end, it was probably a real relationship. I don't know why she did it.
That's what I'm saying. Don't it look a little?
She must love him. Or you think he paid her?
There you go. PR. They got a good PR. He got a good PR person.
So he's telling this girl she need to be like Coretta Scott King or Michelle Obama, and he got Megan Good.
I mean, she was married to a preacher.
Hey, just because she was married to a preacher don't mean she was a preacher.
I'm just saying she was married to, what's his name? What's the dude? Jan something. I can't think of that dude's name. Yeah,
but,
him.
Man, come on.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, it just doesn't look right either way. It looked weird for her.
Yeah, he shouldn't. Yeah, he shouldn't. And he said they still together. Of course, he gonna say that.
Who? Megan.
Yeah. Yeah, he shouldn't have brought any woman in there.
No.
At all.
You in there on a domestic. I mean, I see why they were like, well, he's not that scary. There's a woman with him. I guess.
And they might be like, well, she's scared of him too.
Scared too. Look at her.
he done scared her into coming.
Yeah, man. Good point.
What he should have done, well, they arrest. I was like, he should have just settled.
I don't think he could have.
I don't think he could have. Yeah, I don't think he could have.
I don't think he could have. Yeah, and I remember I saw this. I knew that was coming. I saw the interview, the Young Jock interview, mentioned the same thing. Young Jock felt like he should have just stayed with who he should have brought a white girl. Hey, what you like? Don't try to come over here now.
He might just like women though.
He might. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, man, he wouldn't. I think it'd have been worse than if he brought a white woman in there. Do you need help, honey?
Yeah, he kidnapped you.
Yeah, no, man. He should just went in there by himself.
Oh, yeah, Coretta Scott King. That's some high standards.
You really set them high.
For anybody. Black woman, white woman, whoever.
Yeah.
Michelle Obama.
So he got Megan Good. And you say he paid her.
He paid her. He paid her well. We'll know we don't see her in another movie next year.
Like, I ain't gotta work.
I got that major money.
He better hold on to it. because ain't no new money coming in.
Ain't no more Ant-Man for him. That's for sure. That's over.
Yeah. He might get him some residuals, but
Oh man, poor guy. Not really. I don't care.
like I said, nothing like white tears.
That's what got him, wasn't it? That got him.
He got there and started crying. He's like, shoot. He might well say, man, just go and send me to jail.
He couldn't even run away.
Yeah, I don't. That was strange to me. The whole thing was strange.
Couldn't even run away. Hey.
I don't know if he thought she was drunk and he was doing the texting. I don't know.
Oh no, man.
Them phones get your man in trouble all the time. Done got Chris Brown had to beat up Rihanna over his phone.
Oh, that guy, man.
Yeah,
no, he did beat up. He beat her
over his phone.
That phone.
Boy,
That phone serious, man.
They did this.
But yeah,
just don't do it.
Just don't do it. Hey man, we had those questions were good. Shout out to the listeners, man. We need more. I want more questions like this. That's good.
Yeah, we definitely need more. Hey man, there was a question on there you sent me you ain't read.
Really? Did I miss one? Go ahead. Which one was you got up in front of you? I thought I sent you all of them. Wait a minute. Why is hard overcome church hurt? Tell me.
I'm looking, man. I'm looking.
Oh, dang. Good look. What is the disconnection in the element of true mentorship in our area of Mount Airy? Ooh. Especially the dynamic between pastor and young ministers. I'm glad you
That's
caught
the
that.
one. That's the one right there.
Oh man. Talk about it.
Man, you know, I'm not an old preacher. You know, I like to say I'm old. I'm not an old preacher. To me, an old preacher is one well in wisdom in the 70s and above. Definitely not a young preacher. So I'm somewhere in the middle. So being in the middle, I can look at that type of thing. And I can remember when I was a young preacher, I used to feel like, man, them old preachers just hating. They scared of somebody being in their pulpit that they might take their job. You know how arrogant that thinking is.
Yeah. Sounds young.
It's a young mentality. Yeah. I would say in the position that I'm in now, that most of the time when an older preacher is dealing with a younger preacher or trying to mentor a younger preacher, there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect because they don't think the same. And it could be an ego thing to where, say, the younger preacher has a good idea and the older preacher's like, I ain't learning that from no young boy. And they don't listen. Or with my experience, more often than not, the young preacher, when you're a young preacher, you're on fire. And you want to take the world by storm. And you have these ideas. And say you come to your older mentor and you say, I want to do this, this, and this. And the older mentor says, you need to pray about that. Slow down. Take it one step at a time. And the younger preacher is like, God called me. You just mad God didn't tell you. And then he got young people in his ear saying, well, he's just trying to hold you back. And now the relationship is fractured because instead of listening to your mentor, you listen to your ego. And you said, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to tell you, and like I said, I feel like older preachers are in their 70s. They've weathered the storms of life. I can tell you as a 53-year-old preacher, my time is valuable. I got a lot going on in life. If I feel like you're not going to listen, why waste my time?
Right.
But it's the disconnect. It goes both ways. But a young minister really and truly needs to take a moment and listen. Because most of the time, the older preacher done tried stuff you talking about trying.
So that's a
And
real thing.
It's a real thing. But and I'm not gonna say all, because there are most older people, older preachers, they ain't scared of you taking their pulpit. They ain't scared of you taking their peak. They ain't scared of that.
Why do you say that? Why do you say they're not scared of that?
Because they've been in it long enough and they're secure in what God has called them to do and who God has placed underneath them. And they're secure with that. If they bringing in a younger preacher, they're bringing him in there to give him that opportunity to practice his craft. They ain't worried. Man, you can come to my church tomorrow and preach.
You'd be willing to let someone.
Long as you'll preach the word of God. Yeah, long as you're gonna preach the word of God. I want to help you, not hurt you. But I also want us to have communication. I want you to listen. And when I say listen, I'm not saying, if I tell you I don't think you should do this, I don't want you to just say, okay, I ain't gonna do it. Let's discuss it. Let's spend time in prayer about it and see where God's leading you. Let's not let your friends say, I saw this person on TV doing this. You should try this. But now that so many egos get in the way, the old minister's ego gets in the way, the young minister's ego gets in the way. And it crushes. So put your ego in your back pocket. Sit down, have that discussion, come together, and pray about it. But I mean, that's why we can't. That's why it's hard to have a good mentor-mentee relationship. Because once God called us, and it is something, whatever, once God called us, we feel like, shoot, I only answer to God.
And he said, especially, this person said, especially in Mount Airy.
So
he said in our area, in Mount Airy.
So that's a young minister.
Mount Airy.
That's a young minister. Give me a call and we'll talk.
There you go.
Because I don't think that it was an old minister that did that.
Yeah. I would say no.
Give me a call. We'll talk. But talking is we'll have a conversation. And just take sound advice. I always wanted to learn from somebody else's mistake. If they tried that and they messed it up, well, I'm gonna do it. There's a time and a place for everything. And a lot of times younger preachers want to, especially in our area. Let me tell you something. You can't have a ministry like one in Charlotte here.
Right.
The needs are different.
Needs are different.
The demographic is different. So if I'm trying to tell you yeah, that might work down there. It's not going to work here. Don't think I'm trying to hate and stop you. I'm trying to tell you, sit back, pray about it, and think about this area and what this area needs. And this area don't need that. This area doesn't accept things like that.
And you're speaking from experience. You're not speaking from hate or anything like that.
And it's from experience. And it's hard for young preachers to understand it's not from hate. It's from experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody wants to feel like they're being little broed. But if you're asking for a mentorship,
but yeah, if it's a mentor mentee, you are being little broed.
But there's a way to do it.
But that's what you signed up for.
There's a way to do it without little bro and somebody, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Even can you tell your little brother what to do?
Nah, not lately.
I certainly can't.
Yeah, absolutely not.
At all.
Yeah, no.
I can't tell that nigga nothing.
Right. but you still try to give advice where it's needed.
Try to give advice, right?
Yeah.
Try to give advice, but you can't tell them what to do.
Can't, because they grown.
They grown. So as in a mentor-mentee relationship, I can't tell you what to do. I can give you advice from what I've seen, from what I know, from what I've experienced. You can either take that advice or you can't. Right. But once again, it comes back to, if I continually give you advice and you continually do the opposite, I'm going to continually say my time is too valuable to be fooling with him. I'm going to pray for him, but I got too much life going on to put my time aside to do this. And all it's doing is frustrating me. And no, because I want to help you.
Yeah, they got to see that it's coming from a good place. Also, like you said, it's not being demeaning.
It's not hate. Yeah, it's not hate. I'm not trying to act like you don't know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. I want to help you.
Yeah. Well, call him.
Tell him call me.
I'm gonna tell him to call you.
You tell him call me. Cause I ain't gonna call him.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, they want to be. Yeah, everybody needs that push, man, especially younger people.
Yeah, tell him call me.
Okay. Yeah,
we'll talk. We'll see where his head's at. He'll see where mine's at. If you want to continue a relationship, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool too.
Yeah. All right, man. That was good. Hey, good sound advice. Hopefully somebody listens and takes it in.
There you go. Hopefully they listen. We give you the best we got, and that's all we got.
That's all we got, man. Give them the best we got, like Anita. Maybe a little more than Anita.
Yeah. Somebody told me Anita didn't give you her best. She just gave you something.
Oh man. I'm about to catch a South Carolina game, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. I give it this first half. If it shouldn't be a blowout either way, but if it is, I'll just turn to Law and Order.
Yeah, never thought I'd be excited about a women's college basketball.
Well, it ought to be a good one, and it's the only time they play this year, unless they play in the tournament.
Yeah. All right, man. I mean, leave us on a good note. Gave some good advice. Leave us on a good note.
Hey, man, just listen to us.
Listen, subscribe.
Yeah, all of that, yo. Like, comment, all of that stuff.
Please comment. Put these questions down there instead of inbox.
Just know that we do try to come from a good place.
We do. We really do.
I mean, I know that Eric says some crazy stuff sometimes, and I try to keep him straight.
That one does.
In between all the arguments,
Somewhere in between.
somewhere in there, we do really want to help.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
tell old boy holler at me.
I am. I'm definitely gonna do that, man. For
Tell him
sure.
leave a message because I ain't gonna recognize his number, and I ain't gonna pick up if I don't recognize.
Oh,
But leave,
man, you one
leave
of
a
them,
message.
man. Screening. Me too. Me too.
I'm one of them.
I'm a screener too. I'm definitely screening. Definitely screening.
Yeah,
All right, bro. Good pie, man.
all right, man. Love you, man.
Love you too.
All right, man.
All right, that's been an episode of Culture No Cap.
Holler at a player when you see him in the street.